Wow. Mickey, Morgan, and Vince on the block, and Lauren holding the power of veto. Never have I seen so much crying, y'all. Mickey bringing on the waterworks, Morgan bringing on the waterworks, and Lauren takes the case, bringing on a tsunami of waterworks. The most genuine, however, was Lauren. But I'll speak on her last because there's a lot much more to say about her. The least genuine was Morgan. Come on, Morgan. That last ditch attempt to get Lauren to use the veto, laying on the fake tears and all. And Lauren's response was even more hilarious to me. I laughed my behind off when I saw Lauren's reaction. She couldn't help but laugh herself. I mean, come on, did Morgan really think Lauren was that gullible? Really? Did she? Now, it probably would have worked for Morgan if she would have had the conversation with Lauren before winning the power of veto. Even then, she would have needed tact and finesse in order to deliver that info correctly and make a good impression on Lauren with it, you know. She should have let it come out a little bit more naturally in conversation and maybe make it known that it was an accident that it came out. Even looking at the cameras, y'all, and acting as if she's apologizing to Zach. Oh, I'm so sorry, Zach, I let it out the bag. You know, for breaking that promise. But she had none of those skills, y'all. So that didn't go over well at all for her. And then we have Mickey. Now, even though Mickey's tears were genuine, you can tell, the red eyes, crying and all that, it's just that it reeked of desperation. I mean, with all the lies she told. Really, Mickey? You know good and well, you didn't even dream of praying for Rachel to win that HOH. I mean, you just was telling those same house guests that you were targeting Rachel. So how in the world you expect them to believe that you were praying for Rachel to be head of household? Targeting someone, then wanting that target to win head of household? I think not. Now we come to Lauren. She's still vying for things she knows she's too afraid to commit to. Why in the world is she vying to win power veto? She should have listened to Mickey and just let one of them win it. You know, but I do get it. She was vying for it. One of the main reasons was so that she can secure her own spot in the game. Because if you win the power veto, you can't be put up as a replacement or nomination, right? A replacement nom. But that hesitancy she showed when Vince asked her if she wins the veto, would she use it on him? That should have opened his eyes, which I think it did. You know, he made some comments about it. But I think she should have thought a little bit more on there, because the reason that she gave, she was fearing that her using the power of veto, that would show her hand and show that she and Vince had like a final two or were closely aligned or something like that. But there were many of ways she could have handled that so that would not have been discovered by the other households, you know. If she would have known how to execute her plan, it would have went off without a hitch. And all while she was trying to get to the bottom of it to see what she needs to do, the waterworks just kept on flowing, y'all. At one point, I thought the girl was going to upchuck. Really, she looked sick to me. I thought she was going to upchuck. Kudos to her, however, for ultimately following through with what she wanted to do all along. But her journey to that action was hilarious in my book. Now, besides all of that, there were two things. One was Will. Will. How funny he was, man, listening to the youngsters talk. And man said, I can't tell you what they were talking about. Only thing he did was passively listen. He listened to the last of what they said, repeated it, or And I can't lie, I do that a whole lot. I shouldn't say that because some people I know might say, oh, are you really listening to me? But I do it a lot. I'm not going to lie. It's easy. You can get away with it like that, man. Only difference is if somebody asks you a question, a direct question, you're not going to know what they're talking about. But in this scene, in that game, that's not going to happen. Usually they just passing time and just talking about who knows what. Now, I want to give a tip about the game, just in case any one of you viewers want to put yourselves in that Big Brother house. I like to give you a little bit of tips here and there that you can take with you if you are chosen to be a house guest on there. Now, my game tip for this episode is regarding Rachel's poorly, and I do mean poorly, executed plan to try and keep the veto from being used. So as a legendary player, Rachel in no way handled that situation with Lauren as a legend. Like I said before, I applaud players who respect the fact that each house guest is playing their own game inside that house. So when she tried to make Lauren believe that she was cool with whatever decision that Lauren made concerning the veto, that was a good thing. However, the strategy and trying to execute it, that was so weak. It was very weak, and therefore it resulted in an outcome that Rachel just wasn't looking for. So she allowed Lauren to initially believe that her other two allies wouldn't go on the block. And that's what kept Lauren hopeful and ultimately bold enough to use the veto, which is what Rachel didn't want her to do. Now, let me tell you what my response to Lauren would have been. Here's your tip. I would have told Lauren, yeah, it's your veto. Definitely use it to your benefit, to benefit your game. Of course, I wouldn't want you to use it because I'd be forced to nominate another house guest. You know, who would want to do that? That's getting more blood on your hand. But, you know, I understand that you have to do what you have to do for your own personal game. But just know that my decision as to who that replacement nominee is going to be, that's reserved for me, the head of household. And all I can tell you is that anyone who's not holding that power of veto is indeed a possibility for a replacement nom. And that's all you have to say. She would have scared Lauren crazy. Lauren wouldn't have questioned it. She would have just went to them and said, hey, I can't use it. She doesn't want me to, so I'm done. I'm going to leave nominations the same. Nutshell. She gave that girl that false hope, telling her, just agreeing with her, letting her believe that she wouldn't put Riley or Catherine up. But ultimately, the way Rachel handled it made for good TV, right? Because, boom, she put Riley up. And we know what happened with Riley since that occurred. As usual, he blew up. Everybody is acting so shocked with the things that has been taking place in the house between him with his attitude and how he's handling situations. It doesn't surprise me at all because you saw a snippet of it in his reaction with Mickey when Mickey was playing her own personal game. You can't get upset with somebody for playing their own personal game. You just have to play the game better. Anyways, that's all I have for today, guys. Until the next video, happy Big Brother viewing.